Domain and range. Here are some definitions before you watch this. The x-axis is the horizontal axis on a graph. The y-axis is the vertical axis on a graph. Also, an ordered pair is a pair of numbers that represent a point on a graph. For example, you may be asking yourself, what is domain and range? Domain is the independent variable's set of values in a function, and the x value. Range is the dependent variable's set of values in a function, also the y value. For example, the ordered pair 6, 4 has an x and a y value. The x value is 6, so that means it is the domain. And the y value is 4, and that is the range. In this problem, can you find the domain and the range? The domain is what you see on the screen. This is the range that is on the screen. Determining domain and a range on a graph can be a little more difficult because you can write in two ways: interval notation and set builder. First, we will discuss the domain and range on a line graph using interval notation. I will walk you through this example problem. First, notice that one of the points is filled in and one isn't. If the point is filled in, the value is included and a bracket will be used in the final answer. If the point isn't filled in, the value isn't included and a parentheses will be used in the final answer. Start by looking at the point farthest from the left. In the definition of domain, that the domain is always the x value. So the first part of the notation for interval notation is 3. Next, move to the right to the end of your line and look at the second point. Since the point is filled in, it is included and a bracket will be used. So the final domain will be parentheses 3, 7 bracket. To find the range for interval notation, you have to start at the bottom and move to the top. Start at the bottom point. The y value for the bottom point is 2, and a parentheses will be used because the circle is open. Move up the y-axis to the end of the line. The y value for the point is 5, and a bracket will be used. Overall, the range will be open parentheses 2, 5, close bracket. What we just showed you was the interval notation, one way to write domain and range. But now we are going to use set builder, another way to write domain and range. Both are valid ways to express domain and range. Before we start, it is critical that you know what the sign means. Less than, and this sign means greater than. Also know that the set of all x's such that, or the set of all y's such that, is the format for set builder answers. Let's begin. Since we already found the interval notation, we should just have to translate it into set builder. First, we will start with domain. Look at the lowest point to the left. The x value is 3 and the point is not filled in. Use the set of all x's such as that. Look to the filled-in point on the right that ends the line. The x value is 7. So, the final domain will look like this. Do the same thing for range. Look at the lowest points of the y value and the highest points of the y value, and use the set of all y's such as that. If you do this range correctly, you should get. Overall, we hope you understood our video on domain and range.